When you first come across the Keepers after fleeing the Island Asylum, proving your capabilities will be essential if you hope to discover the truth regarding King Arthur and retrieve the pieces of his soul. One of the initial quests you will undertake is to aid Fearghas and the Keepers in dealing with their local undead dilemma. However, things are not quite what they seem. After you agree to assist Fearghas with the local undead issue, he will direct you to locate Margh, who can be found at the hunter's camp to the north.
Seen you before. And I'm in the woods. Is that how you want to talk? I'm Margh, a hunter in the service of the Horns of the South. You should try to keep. There's always work to do around there. And plenty of men who gladly push it onto someone else. Come to think of it, I might also have something for you, if you don't mind the stench of death and decay. An alarming amount of undead have been emerging from the old cemetery, in numbers far greater than that little plot of land ever held. I don't mind somebody thinning out the population of local bandits, but raising them as part of a personal undead army, well, that's something I can't abide. Sadly, that's not unusual in these parts. There's something about this land that's particularly alluring for necromancers. The South has always been a trouble place, after all. Thank you. I'll be most grateful, as will the quartermaster of the keep. Fearghas appreciates solid work. Well, I'm sure he rewards you well for your efforts. Everything is interesting around here, but ultimately, it depends on what you're looking for. No. Because I'm not an interesting person. You need to understand that when someone enlists with the Horns of the South, he leaves his former self outside the walls of the keep. His old life, it loses all meaning. If someone comes here and gets political, well, they'll end up disappointed. I don't know if you're aware, but becoming the captain is a curse for any true keeper. It's not the honor others on Avalon seem to think it is. Because the captain answers to Camelot and its representative, Galahad. So every captain needs to get political, whether he likes it or not. And the current Galahad is a real piece of shit. He burns people under any pretext whatsoever, or none at all. He sows terror. I have no respect for the man. I'm self-sufficient enough not to have to ask for help. However, I suppose I could help you. I could share some things I found out during my hunts.
Make your way to the graveyard, dispatch the enemies in your way, and enter the crypt itself. Once you are inside, you can converse with Huardoc. You can persuade him to provide you with a key for entering the crypt, or alternatively, you can pay him 5 gold pieces to cover his maintenance expenses. Regardless of your choice, you will gain entry to the crypt. Descend the stairs and unlock the gate to start your adventure.
Who goes there? Are you the one responsible for all that racket? People are trying to rest in peace, damn it. You should be. These folks fell into their eternal slumber a long time ago. But some of them have turned out to be very light sleepers. Not their fault, but we should at least try not to wake them up. I'm telling you, ever since people started burning their dead, it's like they've forgotten proper manners in places like this. My name's Huardoc, and I am the keeper of this place. I look after the dead, or at least, I try to. It used to be much easier where they stayed in one place. Now I need to keep making sure they don't stray too far from the cemetery. But I'm not complaining. A little exercise is good for the body. Dead, alive, what's the difference? I am here. I always have been, and I always will be, until the day I'm released from my service. Truth be told, I'm not quite sure. Has it been a long time since the wave came and swallowed the village? That was when people stopped coming here. It's like the sea washed away the memory of this place as well. I don't remember much of what happened afterwards. I must have fallen asleep for a while. I know everything that happens here. If you're looking for some juicy gossip, Becca from the third row south still has no idea where her husband is. They were supposed to be buried together, you see, but he never showed up. The scoundrel. Everyone here thinks he got remarried and chose to rest with his second wife. Not me. I think he probably got eaten. Oh, that would be Master. He's been at his experiments again, I'm afraid. Getting the folks around here all agitated. Putting them back to sleep again is going to be such a chore. Master is Master. He commands the dead. I don't know much else. I'm here to serve, not to ask questions. Dunno. Usual. Glowing chalk, candles, and dead bodies. I even saw some new faces recently, but they didn't stay long. You want me to betray his trust that easily? We barely know each other. I wouldn't tell you even if I could. Because it's my purpose. The sole reason I was brought back. That has never changed, just as I haven't. But I'm happy where I am. The dead need company too, you know. The folks here were forsaken by the living. At least I can make sure they're not lonely. Interested in local history, are you? Good, good. The memory of those who came before us should be preserved. I can let you in. There is a small fee of 5 gold coins, for the upkeep of the cemetery, of course. It's constant work, as you can clearly see, and my petitions for additional funds seem to have fallen on deaf ears. Bless you, kind stranger. Those old bones are not what they used to be. Here, just take the key. Be careful, though. There's evil dwelling in those crypts. Oh, and I hope I don't need to remind you not to rob any graves. It's terribly rude, and I'd rather not deal with the complaints.
Inside, you'll encounter numerous skeletons and corpse eaters to battle against. They are dispersed throughout the ruins. Be cautious of the stone statues as you delve deeper into the crypt. One of them will animate and attack you, proving to be a formidable opponent. Beyond this, you'll arrive at the innermost chamber where the necromancer Yorath is waiting for you. Before you can launch an attack, he will initiate a conversation. Contrary to the Keeper's suspicions, he isn't attempting to raise an undead army. Instead, he is researching ways to make the dead beneficial for the living. You have a decision to make here. Will you kill the necromancer, or let him go? It is possible to talk Yorath down, but your chances are slim. You will most likely end up in a confrontation, unless you prepare beforehand. But you can obtain a spell from the necromancer if you choose to spare him. You can either lie to Fearghas about killing Yorath, or tell him the truth. Either way, the undead issue will be resolved. Alternatively, you can kill him after convincing him to stop, executing a sneak attack before he realizes what is happening. When you battle Yorath, he will raise undead around you to aid in his defense. If you can corner him, you can quickly take him down, causing the skeletons to disintegrate. Once Yorath is defeated, you can loot his body for a set of necromancer armor and other treasures like a skull staff and several spells.
Careful there. Try not to step in the array. It's advanced magic. Very fragile. Stop. Well, what I am doing here is very important. Besides, I'm hardly hurting anyone. Well, anyone that matters, that is. Oh, please. Is that the only thing people can think of when it comes to necromancy? What use would I have with an army? My ambition isn't to command the dead, but death itself. I aim to make Avalon a place where people won't have to fear it anymore. The problem is, I keep missing something. Raising the dead is easy, but I don't want mindless minions. I want truly living undead. Yet no matter what I do, it just won't work. And You don't understand what you're talking about. This discussion is pointless. That's absurd. Nobody on Avalon is more experienced than I am. Nobody. Very well. Do you know what I like most about the dead? They don't tire, and they don't feel pain. But you will.
Next, you can return to Fearghas with the good news. However, before you leave, have a word with Huardoc to inform him about his master's fate. He sensed the necromancer's death, and now must tidy up the crypt before he falls into a deep slumber again. Before he does, he requests that you bury his master's remains in the special crypt that has been prepared for him. Head back into the deepest chamber to retrieve Yorath's ashes, then proceed beyond the locked door, for which Huardoc has given you the key. Inside, you will find the memorial sites of all the previous necromancers who have entered this crypt. Make your way to the empty casket and place Yorath's ashes in the bowl. You have the option to leave an inscription on the stone at the foot of the altar, or you can choose to leave it blank. This wraps up Huardoc's request, and he has already returned to his slumber.
Yes, I felt that. He must have been surprised. People like him tend to forget that it can happen to them too. I guess I'll do what I always do. Clean up, put everyone back to sleep, and then take a little nap myself. Someone will come along again sooner or later. We can't have them seeing such a mess, can we? Well, this master wasn't the first one. I'm sure he won't be the last. This place is very popular with their kind for some reason, and they always leave it in such a state. It's not like it would hurt them to pick up a few bones and put them back in place. It seems so. But before you go, I have a small favor to ask. As you can see, there's quite a commotion around here. I'm afraid I won't be able to fulfill all my duties before I need to rest again. Could you take what remains of the Master and place him in a special crypt I've prepared? If you feel so inclined, a few kind words about him would be welcome. Here's the key. Well, goodbye, then. And thank you for stopping by. It was truly appreciated. Though we are dead, we still enjoy having a visitor from time to time. It's nice to be remembered, even if just for a little while.
Finally, you can leave and conclude the quest by reporting to the Keeper Quartermaster.
Didn't expect to see you here. Yes? Did you find out what's been happening out there? Great. A necromancer. Just what we needed. It wasn't the Dark Druid from the legends, was it? Good thing you got rid of him then. We already have the Dalriada almost on our doorstep. We don't need an army of the undead to boot. You did well. Maybe it's not so bad having you here.